Her name is Chelsea Perkins. Her OF name is Selena Savage. And she claims that one of her former high school classmates, this guy here, Matthew Dunmeyer, essayed her while she was in high school. Although she was incredibly upset, for whatever reason, Chelsea decided not to report it to anybody. This is around 2007. So let's fast forward to 2017. Chelsea finally decides that she's going to go to the police department and tell them what happened with Matthew back in high school. The only problem is after the police listen to her, they tell her that there's really not much that they can do. Years go by, 4 years to be exact, and Chelsea's doing what most people do on weekends. She's checking her social media, and one of her social media platforms tells her that she should be following somebody. And yep, you guessed it, the social media app is telling her that she should be following Matthew. This angers Chelsea, so much so that she starts plotting her revenge. She decides to follow him, begins communicating with Matthew, and at one point tells Matthew that they should meet. So on March 6, 2021, Chelsea gets in her car and she drives from Virginia to Ohio, and she picks up Matthew at a bar where he's hanging out with his friends. They then drive together and they go to Cuyahoga Valley National Park. When they get to the park, they decide that they're going to go on a walking trail. And once they walk deep enough into the park into the walking trail, Chelsea takes out a kapow and unalives Matthew. Several days later, hikers are walking that same trail and they find Matthew unalive. Police begin their investigation, and after 8 months, they still don't announce an arrest. This frustrates Matthew's mom. Her name is Tommy Dunmeyer. This is her here. She is so frustrated that she starts her own investigation, and at one point, she's 100% convinced that she's identified the subject. On November 5th, 2021, Matthew's mom gets into a car with her husband and goes to this lady's house. Now, mind you, she's wearing all brown like some of those delivery guys that deliver packages. When she gets out of the car, she's holding a box. Then she goes up and rings the doorbell. Now, when she rings the doorbell, the lady answers. And what happens next? She decides to reach into the box, take out a kapow, pull her finger twice, and yes, making contact with her stomach. Matthew's mom decides to flee in her car. She gets in the car with her husband, and she takes off. Now, mind you, the police get a description of her car and wind up pulling her over. But when they pull her over, Matthew's mom unalives herself. They take her husband into custody, and subsequently he winds up getting 3 years in prison. Now, almost exactly 1 month later, December 9th, the FBI get enough evidence and they wound up arresting Chelsea Perkins. If only Matthew's mom had waited. On May 27, 2025, Chelsea decides to enter in a guilty plea right before trial. In September 2025, the judge is going to sentence her. If you want to get an update on Chelsea's sentencing and you want to keep getting some of these true crime stories and shocking news from Gotham Scoop, make sure you follow, like, and share. And did I mention follow?